Well, Fresh Bake, we're trying again. We're back for another rope drop at Disneyland. We're a little late again. It's 10 minutes to 8. It's been a few months, or I should say, it's probably been about 5 or 6 weeks, I think, since our last visit. It is now February, late February, since our last attempt to rope drop Rise the Resistance. No more masks are required, which has created a little bit more urgency in crowds today. There are more people here today. It took me a little longer to get in the park today than I was expecting. I tried to get here earlier. Didn't work out. It's 10 minutes to 8. We got some competition. Yeah, about that. This is gonna go just like it did last time, only worse, I think. This is not gonna go well at all. Because I mean, I would say again, 80% of these people are gonna be going through Frontierland and into Galaxy's Edge for Rise of the Resistance. I honestly don't think it's any bargain in any airline right now. I can barely see it over my shoulders. It looks deep everywhere. It's intense. I've missed a proper rope drop.
To this magical place called Disneyland.
Does that look familiar? It's just like it was. What was it? It was a Wednesday, I think we did this, and it was like this. But this is obviously worse. If you're gonna rope drop Rise, you've got to rope drop the rope drop. You've got to get here more than 10 minutes early. You've got to get here 30 minutes early and try to, get ahead of this crowd a little bit, because there's a lot of folks. There's a part of the color gray.
Okay, I better be straight counting before I eat anything, like heavy, because I will vomit.
We've reached the back. The question is, how swiftly are we going to move through this? The interior queue, the proper queue, should be full, right? So this should move as soon as they let people in, which I don't think they have let. That's why we stopped, because they haven't let anybody in yet. It's 8:11, and it looks like the line is just now starting to move. You have to count this time. This time spent from, you start the clock on how long you're waiting for Rise at rope drop at 8 a.m. Because all of it counts from then on. You don't start the clock before that. You don't count those 10 minutes before, which is why you want to try to get here before I did, before 10 minutes to 8. But it looks like it's starting to move, and we'll see how quickly this thing goes through. Through the threshold at 8:17. So as expected, we are kind of moving quickly through the queue. We've only been in the queue for a couple minutes and we're already, okay, no, we did hit the back. Hey guys, what's up? This spot right here is one of our benchmarks. When you enter, hey look, it's Ronnie. Say hi, Ronnie. Hi. Ronnie doesn't know what to do right now.
No, I really don't.
Or he's like, am I supposed to be in this shot?
I don't know. Be asking you a question.
Entering the interior queue, the cave section, is one of our benchmarks. It's taken us, since rope drop, 26 minutes to get here. I feel like you can achieve that most times during the day. Now, I don't feel like we've won anything by rope dropping it. Like I said, it's 25 minutes now. We got another 15 or 20 minutes to go to get to our ride vehicle. So our wait time is probably going to wind up being about 45 minutes. We'll keep going to make sure. But when you talk about whether or not to rope drop, what you're saving is maybe 15, 20 minutes. I don't know, it's a busy day. We're going to come back here and do some recon at noon. Don't get here at noon, okay? We'll just skip that, but I'm going to do it anyway. But to find out what the wait time is probably going to be, 90 minutes. So I guess maybe you save 30 or 40 minutes if you do that. But the question is, it's risk, it's cost benefit, it's opportunity cost. You spend 45 minutes in Rise at 8 o'clock, you've missed the chance to do a half a dozen rides in Tomorrowland, or do you agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah, you've missed the chance to do a half dozen rides in Tomorrowland or Fantasyland. Ask this guy, he knows what he's talking about. You could do all of Tomorrowland in the time it's taken us to do Rise of Resistance right now. In most cases. Like I said, today is going to be an exceptional day with regard to it being busier than normal. But I think on the balance, that is the case. Look at it. See? It's full. The interior queue is full. It's moving, but it is full. It's moving because there's not a lot of people using Lightning Lane at 8 o'clock in the morning. But Ron just made a good point too. We were talking about opportunity cost. It isn't just the fact that we can do 5 or 6 rides in this time, but now if I want to go back and do Space Mountain, instead of doing Space Mountain 5 or 10 minutes, Space Mountain is now an hour. So, and that applies to the Matterhorn, Indiana Jones, whatever else you're trying to do in Tomorrowland or something like that. All the Fantasyland dark rides are now 20 or 30 minutes when we get out of here. So add to that, those 6 rides, instead of it being, an hour to do those 6 rides, now it's going to be 3 hours probably to do those 6 rides. 8:43, and we're just about into the Ray and BB-8 room, so it'll be what do you call it, 8:45 when we see Ray, and 8:50 when we get into the shuttle. Now I have confirmed though that Disney starts or ends the clock. The time spent waiting is when you get to your vehicle, your actual ride vehicle. So we've still got, 10 or 15 minutes before we get to our ride vehicle.
Check it out. BB-8, what do you got?
There appear to be a number of small craft heading our way. Raise the shields.
Company, first order TIE fighters. Reroute!
Get us clear so we can make the jump.
Be ready, order at which time?
Go ahead, keep your units together. Any information you are trying to collect from the data
8:52.
For your safety, it's seated with
All right, in our vehicle at exactly 9 p.m. It took us a full hour at rope drop to get into our vehicle. I don't know where you measure times, but that's what Disney says, is they measure it to the ride vehicle. So that's a 60-minute wait from rope drop into our ride vehicle. Went quick though.
The escape pod's just below us. Wait, why are you going up? I said down, up is bad. Up is way bad.
Sir, the prisoners have escaped.
Brave, but ultimately hopeless.
Thanks to your heroism, the location of the resistance base is secure. Bravo! Yes, R5, you too.
I want to wrap up my thoughts on rope dropping Rise. We're having lunch here at Docking Bay 7. I'm enjoying the Andorian roasted chicken salad. I don't know, we may or may not have put a review on this up by now. Probably not. So one of the questions that we're asked often, should you rope drop Rise of the Resistance? Is it better to get it first thing in the morning than wait, at some point during the afternoon or in the evening? I feel like it's a pretty easy answer for me personally. Again, everybody has their own expectations, their own tastes or whatever. But for me personally, this is an easy answer, and it's no. Don't rope drop Rise of the Resistance. Not if being efficient, not if having an efficient day, catching a bunch of rides is a priority for you. If you're going to be here for rope drop, I wouldn't waste it on Rise of the Resistance. I said earlier in the video when we were talking with Ron that you could do 5 or 6 rides in that hour. I don't know where I got that number, but I went back and thought, no, it's not 5 or 6. 3 or 4. You could probably do 3 or 4 rides in Tomorrowland in that time, in an hour. You could probably do Maybe you could do 5 or 6 in Fantasyland for doing dark rides. Certainly there's a better use of your time, in my opinion, of that hour spent in Rise of the Resistance. Not to mention the risk you face, like it happened the first time we tried, where I got here at rope drop at about 7:45, started making my way down to Galaxy's Edge, and before I could even get in the queue, the ride closed. Now I've definitely missed an opportunity, because now I'm stuck in the back end of the park, and I'm not in a place that I want to be, like Tomorrowland, for example. There is no beating Rise of Resistance. You can just understand. That's really the recon that we're doing for Rise, which we're going to be doing a feature on this later about all the different checkpoints, all the different landmarks, and how long you can wait. It isn't to help you beat the attraction. It's to help you understand the plan. I mean, there are a few tips here and there. For example, I suggest riding it near the end of the day as opposed to the beginning. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, that kind of thing, assuming it's up. If you're really trying to shorten how long you wait in the Rise queue once you're in it, that is to say after the rope drops, then you need to be here at 7 a.m., 7:15 a.m. Certainly not, 7:50 like I did. And at that point, you're asking, is it really worth it? Because now you're spending another hour to do that. You're not losing time in the park, but you are costing yourself another hour to get here, or 30 minutes or 45 minutes. For my money, I'd rather spend that hour knocking out a couple rides, and then in exchanging that, as we mentioned, the 30 minutes you save, at Rise going at rope drop, you lose by waiting, a couple more hours for the other attraction you might do. Instead of doing those rides in 5 or 10 minutes, you're now doing them in 30 or 40 minutes. Stack those on top of each other, and you're at 2 or 3 hours at least. But to each his own. There were plenty of people who wanted to rope drop Rise today, no doubt about it. It is a very popular choice first thing in the morning. Anyway, stay tuned for our Rise Recon video. I'm still working on it. I'm still collecting data. I've been charting times, making landmarks, finding places in the queue, sectionizing, kind of like we talked about with Pirates of the Caribbean, creating sections and adding those times up. Stay tuned for that. Otherwise, cheers, Fresh Bake.